Hi and welcome back to another video on my channel. So I guess you wonder how to make your bass sound fat, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. As an example, we're going to quickly make reese bass from scratch because I am a huge fan of reese bass sounds. Detuned saw wave is one of the most gorgeous sounds in the universe and we're going to focus on it. So we're going to use Serum 2 for this, but honestly you can use any plugin, any synthesizer to do this because mostly it's just to detuned saw wave. So let us start. So let's start our video. Let's open our Serum 2 and let's start making our reese bass. The easiest way to make reese bass is, as I said, just using two saw waves. And we are just going to detune this one down and this one up, like something around it maybe. You can hear the movement already, so we're on a good path. Filter both. Some drive, let's distort it a little and let's make it fat. That's what we are going to focus on today. Mostly I am just going to show you how I make my bass sounds fat, so you keep a clean sub bass and at the same time the sound is clean, it's not muddy. This sound, because of the drive and fat, is already quite loud. This sound is going to be really easy and basic. We're not going to focus on crazy sound design today. We are just going to focus mostly on the effect chain and the idea behind mixing the bass sound, so you just know how to make your bass sounds loud. Let's add some more distortion. Add some more, turn on mono and legato, also always with portamento. So you have this gliding effect. We can use a little chorus and we're going to use compression with multi-band. Okay, so this is our bass and we are going to clean it. Let's use FabFilter Pro Q. You can see already that there's a lot of mud. This area is way too crowdy, if we can call it this way. So we're just going to cut quite a lot of 300 Hz. I'm using this just to make sure that everything below 200 Hz is in mono. And now the thing that makes most of my bass sound fat, clean and powerful. OTT. Stock Ableton OTT preset. There's a cool trick that if you press Option, you can move around both of those blocks here at the same time. And we are just going to boost it to the right a little. I know that OTT is quite overused, let's call it, everyone uses OTT. We're used to overly compressed sounds, everything is really compressed right now, but I think that there's a reason why OTT is used so much. Of course, it just works, it's really powerful, and if you use it correctly and not overuse it, if you don't go too crazy with it, although you can go crazy, for example, in sound design, you can use it for really insane artifacts that you would never come up with, like just never. We just wanted to boost the sub bass because now we'll use another Pro Q. We will copy the same preset that I used earlier that just cuts everything below 20 Hz and everything over 20,000 Hz. You can see that there's not a lot of mud here. OTT somehow boosts this area, so we'll just cut a little bit of it. The thing that I really like to put at the end of my effect chain for my bass sounds, Saturn 2 at the end, it's a thing that I randomly came up with years ago, and maybe it's not like something really innovative or crazy, but I kinda use Saturn 2 as a limiter because you can boost the level. And you can see that even though it's super loud, it's not going over 0 here, it's not clipping. And that's why Saturn kinda works as a limiter here. And it really adds this kind of warm feeling, even though we're not using the distortion, the warm tape here, but it just makes the sound really loud already and it really sounds clean. Because to make loud bass, it may not make sense, but if you add less sub bass than you think you should add and then boost it or distort it or saturate the sound, eventually you will adjust, kind of normalize the sub level and the other parts are going to sound more full. I have no idea if it makes sense if I described it correctly, but it just works for me, and honestly, the only rule in music production is if it sounds good, it sounds good. That was just a really quick tip from me. I don't think there's much more to add. Reese bass.